Welcome to our shit box.
Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of the Clio RS build. We finally have some new parts, because we were waiting a long time for these parts. Let's see what's in this box and how we're gonna fix this Clio RS.
So we had the most of bad luck with ordering parts for this car.
So one of the problems we had with this car were the bearings on the backside, they were broken. So we wanted to change them. In this car the bearings on the rear are connected to the brake disc, so we have to change them together. And a special thing, because we have an RS, is that there's a little spacer, this one. So there needs to be a spacer, and when you change your disc, everything is rusted. So this little spacer gets rusted to the disc. You take off the disc, you throw the disc away, and there's no spacer anymore. So these get forgotten, and when you don't have the spacer, there's too much play for the bearing, and you will get a broken bearing really fast again. So we got spacers, we have to wait a long time for these, and we ordered some brake discs, but we had a few options, and there were some really cheap options. Now it doesn't matter the brand, but the specifications should be good. We counted the tooth we need for the ABS ring. Should be good, cheap option. We were like, let's save some money, cheap option. So we mounted them, and we found out there's an incorrect amount of tooth on the ABS ring. And if you have the incorrect tooth, you get a warning from the ABS system, so that was not working. We ordered some new discs. These are a little bit more expensive. They are from TRW. I think it's a good brand.
Yeah, it's quite a good brand.
Yeah, so we have now the good brand. We have the correct amount of tooth. Let's take the old one, or the new old one, the shitty ones. Let's take them off, put these on, and hopefully finally drive this car again. Because meanwhile, well, you can see it. It has been in the barn for a long time. It only gets dirtier, and we just want to drive it. First step is to loose the wheel nuts before you jack up the car, not the other way around. Russian garage.
Russian. No problem. We fix for you.
Let's loose the wheel nuts. Second step is to jack up the car. Place your axle stands, because you should never just trust the hydraulics of the crick.
Quick.
Wat is dat ook weer?
Dat is een jack.
Oh, you should never trust the hydraulics of the jack, because they can always fail, and when you're underneath there with your head, you don't want anything to fall down.
Lower it slowly.
Another thing we usually do is when we take off the wheel, we place it underneath the frame rails. So if it still falls, you also have a wheel underneath there to catch something. And now it's on the axle stands, and we place the jack a little bit underneath it, and we shake the car a little bit to see if it's sturdy. I'd rather have it falling right now than when we're underneath it. That looks good. Alright.
This is original.
We're ready for some work. Well, that's the perfect example. Because I was just gonna tell you something about our junky tools, and it just fell apart. So that's perfect. Yeah, we're gonna take the discs off. This side is off now, and we wanna show you. Oh, it's just falling apart. We wanna show you a little bit about what we're working with. Actually, everything we work with is tools that we bought when we were younger. And I didn't have that much money growing up, so it was always the cheapest tools you can find.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would.
And as you can see, we're working out of boxes like this, just collected tools from everywhere and mainly the cheapest stuff. So when it comes to taking off a bearing like this, you have some pulling equipment, you need it. So we have these, and these are just the cheapest casting mold equipment. If you put too much pressure on it, the threads will go kaput.
Kaputi!
Which happened, so yeah, it's not the best way to do it, it's not the perfect way to do it, but it's the Heya way to do it, because this is what we have and that's what we work with. This one is off now. Let us show you how we do it on the other side. It's not pretty, but it works. Right, so we took the center nut off. That's the nut that holds it all in place. We took the brake caliper off. This is an interesting system, how the brake caliper comes apart in two parts. Normally you would try to pull it somewhere, but you don't got tools. So we use this tool, the Jeremy Clarkson tool. It breaks the bearing in two, so you cannot use the disc again. It's a little bit of a shame, but they were cheap and we're not going to use it anyway, so we just break it and put the other one on ice. Let's see if this one comes off. Went a lot easier than the other one.
Experience.
Right, so now you can see we broke the actual bearing in two parts, so this is not good, you cannot use it again. But for us it's...
it doesn't matter right
yeah,
now.
it's trash anyway, so because it's the wrong part. So the only thing we have to take off now is the inner bearing. And with this cheap...
Mr. Editor, here you go.
That wasn't staged.
It's
crazy hot in here today. We're Dutch, we never like the weather, we're always complaining. It's either too hot or too warm. No, too hot or too cold. It's never good. So if you're a tool manufacturer and you're watching this video, help us out with some tools, we really need it. We like to do some crazy and some nice projects, but we need some help in this tool department.
Snap-on. Hello.
So if you're manufacturing and want to work with us, get in contact and let's see what we can do together. 14, that is...
The one with 13 on the back.
Oh yeah. If you get a close-up of this one, when it actually works it's pretty nice. You can see it pull it off. Yes, ready. It's not the most proper way, but it works. We have no damage to the parts we want to keep. So I think for now it's a good way to do it.
This is how you remove your brake disc from your Clio RS in 4 minutes.
And here we can see the spacers we talked about earlier. We have a tapered conic side and we have a flat side. We put the tapered side on the back because there's also a tapered side on the axle. And now it's ready for our new brake disc and bearing. Put that on, put the brake back on, put the wheels back on. See if it all works. If you don't use the spacers, there's too much play for the bearing, and in a really short time your bearings will fill. So you need those spacers in order to keep your bearings good.
And they are not manufactured anymore?
Renault doesn't make them anymore, so that's a bit of a thing. And you need to find something like a racing company that makes racing parts. And they will make stainless steel variants. So it's also a little bit nicer because it won't rust. If you're looking for a set, we have one extra. We work with a company, we have some sponsors. We have one set extra we can sell to you. No, that's not how it works. We don't work with anyone. But we have a set. If you need something in the Netherlands or around there, we have a set. If you need something, let us know.
Start the music. now it's time for our first test drive in 2 or 3 months, I think, since the last video. And yeah, we'll keep you updated.
So first time back in the Clio.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. It's we're with 3 people right now, so it's a bit heavy, but the fun part is still there.
How is it driving?
Yeah, pretty good.
How does the steering feel for you? Is it off or?
A bit wonky
Yeah.
for a
It's
sport,
not
for a
broken.
sports car.
Yeah, it's not broken, but it doesn't feel sporty. It could be a little bit more sporty. So the suspension is pretty stiff.
Yeah, the suspension is really stiff, so maybe that makes it feel like the steering is a bit not sporty, but
Yeah. We will see what we can do about that one. But for now, it runs really nice. Finally. Oh, that was a long time waiting. And yeah, now we can move on again. Really happy with that. And I think it's time for a wash for this one because it's dirty.
that's for sure.
Heya.
Yeah. Hi Benio!
Hey,
Hi Benio!
en nou over